යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුදුමානි වායානිව අන්තලින්කේ සම්බේව භූතා සුමනා භවන්තු අතෝපි සංකංච සුනන්තු වාසිතං තස්මාහි භූතානි සාමීත සම්බේ මින්තං කරෝත මානුසියාපජාය දිවාචරන්තෝච හරන්තියේ බලින් තස්මාහි නේරංකත අම්පමන්තා යං කිංචි වින්තං ඉදවා හොරං වා සංගේසු වායං රතනං පනීතං නනෝ සමං අන්ති තථාගතේන ඉදම්පි බුද්දේ රතනං පනීතං ඊතේන සංචේන සුවන්ති හෝතු khayang viragang amatang panitang yadanjaka sankhya muni samahito natena dhammena samanti kinci idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena sancena suvanti yoto yang bunda sento parivannahi sucing samadhimanan karikanyamau samadhinatena samona vinjati idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena sancena suvanti hotu ye punggala anta satampasanta cantani etani yugani onti te dankiniya sugatan sasavaka ete sudinnani mahampalani idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena sanchena suvanti hotu ye sumpayunta manasa dalhena nikkamino gotama sasanammi te panti panta amatang vikaya landamudanim buting bunjamana idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena sanchena suvanti hotu yatinda kilo pataving sitosya chatumbiwate asampakampiyo tatupamang sampurisang vadami yo ariya sanchani avinca pansati idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena sanchena suvanti hotu ye ariya sanchani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani kincapi te honti pusampamantana te bawang antamang aliyanti idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena sanchena suvanti hotu sahavansa dansana sampadaya tayan sudamma jahita bhavanti සංකාය දින්ති විචිකිංචිතංච සීලම්බතං වාපි යතන්ති කිංචි චතුහ පායේහි ච විම්පමුන්තෝ චචාපිතානානි අපම්බෝකාතුං ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඊතේන සංචේන සුවන්ති හෝතු කිංචාපිසෝ කම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උත චේතසාවා අබම්බෝසෝ තංස පටිච්චාදාය අබම්බතාදින්ත පදංස වුන්තා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සංචේන සුවන්ති හෝතු වනම්පගුම්බේ යතාපුන්සිතංගේ ගිම්හානමාසේ පටමන්මින්ගිම්හේ තතෝපමං ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමං හිතාය ඉදම්පි බුන්දේ රතනං පනීතං ඊතේන සංචේන සුවන්ති හෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤෝ වරදෝ වරහරෝ අනන්තරෝ ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි ඉදම්පි බුන්දේ රතනං පනීතං ඊතේන සංචේන සුවන්ති හෝතු කීනං පුරාණං නවං අන්ති සංභවං විරන්ත චින්තායතිකේ පවන්මි තේකීන බීජා අවිරුල්හෙන් චන්දා නිම්බන්ති දීරායකායං පදීපෝ ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඊතේන සංචේන සුවන්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලින්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමන්සා සුවන්ති හෝතු යාහිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලින්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං ධම්මං නමන්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලින්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමන්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සංච වන්දේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වන්දේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වන්දේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දන්ස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දන්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දන්ස
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Good morning to everyone. Happy to see many of you who have logged in early in the morning. We have another round of the Sunday Buddha Puja service. Before we carry on, just make sure that your Wi-Fi is all right. Make sure that you're able to see us clearly and hear us clearly. And it's good to wish each other. Wow, many of you have already wished each other over to the comment box. Don't forget to give us a like. During the Buddha Puja service, remember to have a calm mind. You may wish to prepare a candle or oil lamp to offer at your altar, but wait for the announcement to light the candle together with the vulnerable. To those who are just joining us, Namo Buddhaya, welcome to our 30th online Sunday Buddha Puja service. We organize this weekly online Puja service in order to give an opportunity to Buddhist devotees near and far to continue with our Buddhist faith and practices during this COVID-19 period. Brothers and sisters, let us prepare ourselves by sitting comfortably, relax our bodies, and compose our mind. Let go of thinking about the past and future, and be in the present moment. I shall now hand over to our Puja leader, Sister Anne. Over to you, Sister Anne.
Chuan. Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Namo Buddhaya. Let us begin with our Sunday Buddha Puja. With respect, may I invite Venerable INDARATHANA to make the offerings to the Buddha. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, you may also light your candles or oil lamps and make your offerings to the Buddha. For the other brothers and sisters, let us place our palms together in Anjali position. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. 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 Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, together let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddham Pujeni, Dhammam Pujeni, Sangham Pujeni. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, together we shall invite Venerable Indarathana to administer to us the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. Aham bante sangsara vata tuvato mochanataya tisaranina saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anukahang katwa silang deta me bante. Dutiyampi ahang bante sangsara vata dugato mochanataya tisaranina saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anukahang katwa silang deta me bante. Tatiyampi ahang bante sangsara vata dugato mochanataya tisaranina saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anukahang katwa silang deta me bante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surāmiraya majjapamādhatthāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suraniraya majjapamādhatthāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Imāni panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyami.
Imani panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyami. Imani panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyami. Imani panca sikkhapadāni samadhiyami.
Appamādena sampādita
Amabhante Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Okay, so now let us recite together the recollection of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and as well as the verses of the Buddha Puja offering. Iti piso bhagavā arahang sammā sambuddho viññānānā පුඤ්ඤාචරණ සම්පන්නෝ සුගතෝ ලෝකවිදු අනුන්තරෝ පුරිස ධම්මසාරති සත්තාදීව මනුස්සානං බුද්ධෝ භගවාති ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සම්දින්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පන්සිකෝ පනයිකෝ පංචන්තං වේදිතම්බෝ විඤ්ඤුහිති සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ උජුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ඤායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුංගලා ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනියෝ පාහුනියෝ දක්ඛිනියෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤං කෙන්තං ලෝකං සාති වන්දාමි චේතියං සම්බං සම්බඨානි සුපතින්තිතං සාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධින් බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව සම්බාරි විජයං අකා පන්තෝ සම්බං යුතං සන්තා වන්දේ තං බෝධිපාදපං ඉමේතේ මහා බෝධි ලෝකනාතේන පූජිතා අහං පිතේ නමස්සාමි බෝධි රාජා නමන්තුතේ ගනසාරම්පතිත්තේන දීපේන තමදන්සිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සංභාර යුත්තේන දූපේනහං සුගන්ධිනා පූජේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජා භාජන මුන්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ච හෝතු මොක්ඛං පුප්පං මිලායාති යතයි ධම්මේ Kayo tata yati vinasa bhavam Adivase tuno bhante Paniyang parikampitam Anukampam upadaya Patiganhatu muntamang Kayena vaca cintena Pamadena maya katam Ancayang kamami bhante Bhuri panya tatagata Kayena vaca cintena Pamadena maya katam Ancayang kamami dhamma Sandintika akalika Kayena vaca cintena Pamadena maya katam Ancayang kamami sangha Supatipanna anuttara Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu
Namo Buddhaya, BHANTE, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, good morning. And once again, welcome to this Sutta study to be conducted by Venerable INDARATHANA. Today's Sutta study, based on the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, is the 10th in the series. In the previous Sutta studies, Venerable INDARATHANA had explained to us the various principles originally expounded by the Buddha to be observed by the Sangha and the lay community so as to grow and prosper in unity and in welfare and not to decline. Venerable INDARATHANA also explained on the benefits of cultivating Sila, Samadhi and Panya and on the advantages of cultivating morality that leads to one's success in wealth, good reputation, confidence, die unconfused eventually, and reborn in a good destination, a heavenly world. Venerable INDARATHANA also has told us about the stories of Mara, the evil one, and the nature of Mara, the personification of all evil. We have learned a lot from the last few Sutta study sessions, and today we are very pleased to once again invite Venerable INDARATHANA to continue with the Sutta study on the Mahaparinibbana Sutta. Brothers and sisters in the Dharma, if you have any questions for Venerable INDARATHANA, please type your questions in the comment sections. We shall invite Venerable INDARATHANA to answer your questions after the talk. And now, with deep respect, we invite BHANTE.
Sukhi to all the brothers and sisters in Dhamma, and I wish you very good morning to all. Today, once again, we are gathering online. Virtually, we are gathering today for this Subandhya Buddhist Association Sunday Buddha Puja service. And we have completed the initial puja offering, and now we are going to have a little reflection about one of the beautiful sutta in the Buddha's teaching. In fact, as you know, this sutta is the longest discourse of the canon, so that it takes so long to complete the sutta. And this sutta mostly is narrated after the Buddha's passing away, because this sutta contain the life's journey of the Buddha of his last 1 year period. So this sutta is mainly concentrate on the last journey of the Buddha from the Rajagaha, the city of Rajagaha, to city of Kusinara, where he passed away. So throughout the 1 year period, nearly 1 year period, Buddha traveled from Rajagaha to Kusinara by foot. So during that journey, he met many disciples, many the kings, ministers, lay women, lay men, and many kind of people. So when the Buddha encountered various people, he explained certain Dhamma factors to them. And throughout this journey, there was one person always accompanied with him, that is Venerable Ananda. Venerable Ananda was the main attendant or chief attendant to the Buddha for his last 20 years. So during this journey of Rajagaha to Kusinara, Buddha takes some time to talk to Venerable Ananda and explain certain very important Dhamma factors, which is important for the Sangha order, certain rules or principles we need to observe by the Sangha members as well as a community. So there are certain conversation between Venerable Ananda and the Buddha, and certain other encounters along the path. So now we can go back to the sutta text. Okay. So I take the translation of the Venerable Ananda Jyoti Bhikkhu from his website, the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the discourse about the great emancipations, which is 16th Sutta of the Digha Nikaya. So let's have a little summarize what we have done so far. So this is the ancient northern India. So this is India, and this is the northern part of the India, in the map. And Buddha starts his last journey, especially this sutta start with the Rajagaha, somewhere here, Rajagaha, and from here Buddha traveled to Ambalachika, Nalanda, from the Magadhan republics to the Vachian republics, and from there he slowly entered the Malla republics, where he passed away finally at Kusinara. So we have completed I think 70%, 60 to 70% of his journey until the Vesali. So now Buddha is somewhere near to the Vesali and about ready to go to the last destination of the Kusinara. So there are 6 chapters of this sutta. So we today discussing about the last part of the 3rd chapter. I think it's no need to explain so detail about the previous sutta study. So somehow we start the sutta, the mention about the King Ajatasattu in the 1st chapter. Especially the King Ajatasattu sent a chief minister to see the Buddha to discuss about some invasions to the other republics. But somehow Buddha, instead of instructing how to invade the republic, Buddha explained how to remain prosperous as a nation, as a country, as a king. From there, Buddha used many circumstances to teach more and more Dharma to the Sangha members as well as the other people. So, like that, Buddha stay in the Rajagaha for few months, and after that, Buddha slowly moved to the Vajjan republics, and that journey he met Venerable Sariputta and famous characters of the Buddha's life story, and also quotes in Ambapali, and finally he observed last Vasa at Belwa village, and that village when the Buddha go to that village, somehow he fallen sick. And then the third chapter start with the Venerable Ananda's shortcomings or some failures of the Ananda. And then this third chapter especially explained about the relinquishment of the life process of the Buddha. Especially the Buddha or anyone who practice Sattara Iddhipada, the 4 power bases of the spiritual power, they can remain the full lifespan of that period. But for the Buddha to stay for the full lifespan of that era, of that period, somebody need to invite him. The formal invitation need to be made in order to stay for a full lifespan. But somehow, because of the Venerable Ananda's failure to invite him, he didn't stay for full lifespan of the in ancient India in 2,600 years ago. So Buddha relinquished the life process, or he decided to pass away in 3 months period. So that is where we stopped last sutta class, sutta session. So now we're going to the next section. The next section explains 8 reasons for earthquakes. So from here onwards, there are few chapters Buddha explain, or the people who narrated this sutta or compiled the sutta after Buddha's passing away included certain other things as well, beside the Buddha's last journey, the details of the last journey. So here we start like this. You can see the light color, it is English version. We read the English version. Then it occurred to the Venerable Ananda, surely it is wonderful, surely it is marvelous, this great earthquake. This very great earthquake and his awful hair-rising crash of the divinities, thunderstruck. What was the reason? What was the cause for the occurrence of this great earthquake? Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Fortunate One, and after approaching and worshipping the Fortunate One, he sat down at one side. Sitting on one side, Venerable Ananda said to the Fortunate One, Surely it is wonderful, Reverend Sir. Surely it is marvelous, Reverend Sir, this great earthquake. This very great earthquake and his awful rearising crash of divinities, thunder drum. What was the reason, Reverend Sir? What was the cause for the occurrence of this great earthquake? There are these 8 reasons, 8 causes, Ananda, for the occurrence of great earthquake, which is 8. So after Buddha relinquished the life process, it's mentioned that there was a great earthquake. Venerable Ananda saying it is marvelous, it is wonderful to have like this earthquake. So I think we understand that earthquake is something very disastrous, and we if there was an earthquake, definitely it's not something so beautiful thing. So I think here mention mostly there is no clear evidence, but I think it is more rather than physical earthquake. It is something like in one of the commentaries it says that it's not a physical earthquake. It is earth deity, or especially the deity who are protecting the earth is trembling, is shaking, and they shocked because they're going to lose. One of it is great son of the earth, which is Buddha. So some commentary says like that, but here seems like a real earthquake. But even though it is a real earthquake, it shouldn't be a big, very disastrous earthquake. So because of the Buddha stopped the relinquished the life process, there was an earthquake. So then Venerable Ananda was curious about it, and then asked from the Buddha, what's the reason? Then the Buddha explained, there are 8 reasons that can make some earthquake that could happen due to these 8 reasons. Okay, so which 8? This great earth, Ananda, stand in the water. The water stand in the atmosphere. The atmosphere stand in this space. There comes a time, Ananda, when the great winds blow. With the great winds blowing, the waters move. The waters having moved, the earth move. This is the first reason, the first cause for the occurrence of a great earthquake. So this is a very, very natural phenomena that Buddha trying to explain from that understanding, from the understanding of that time, how the earthquake can happen in general, natural way. And the second one, furthermore, Ananda, when an ascetic or Brahmin or divinity, one of the great power, one of the great majesty, has through spiritual power attained complete mastery of the mind, and has then developed even a trifling perception of the earth or an unlimited perception of the water. This earth moves, wavers, flutters, and shakes. This is the second reason, the second cause for the occurrence of the great earthquake. So in this sutta explain, if somebody develop a certain spiritual power, especially the Patavi Sanya, the perception of the earth, perception of the water through the development of the jhana, through the development especially spiritual power, they can make a earthquake. It can be ascetic, or it can be some deities as well. Furthermore, Ananda, when the Buddha befalls away from the Tusita host, the Tusita host is when the Buddha, before the Buddha comes into the last life, after he practicing and completing his 10 paramitas, he stay in one of the heaven called Tavatinsa, or one of the heaven called Tusita. So when the Buddha befalls away from the Tusita host and mindfully with full awareness enter his mother's womb, this earth moves, waves, flutters, and shakes. And this is the third reason. So third reason is when the Buddha conceived in the mother's womb as a final life. And furthermore, when the Buddha to be mindfully and with full awareness exists his mother's womb, the earth is moving. That is the fourth reason. Furthermore, Ananda, when the realized one perfectly awakened to this unsurpassed and perfect awakening, this earth moves, waves and flutters and shake. That is the fifth reason. Furthermore, Ananda, when the realized one set the unsurpassed wheel of the teaching rolling, or the Buddha, when the Buddha is delivering his first Dhamma teaching, which is Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. When the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is delivering time also, the earth is shaking. The furthermore, Ananda, when the realized one mindfully with full awareness gives up his life process, this earth moves. And this is the seventh reason. So the seventh reason, just what happened earlier mentioned, when the Buddha give up his life process, there is an earthquake or a move of the earth. And furthermore, Ananda, when the realized one is finally emancipated in the emancipation elements which has no basis for attachment remaining, when the Buddha is attaining to the final Nibbana, or when the Buddha is passing away, this earth moves, waves, flutters and shakes. This is the eighth reason, the eighth cause for the occurrence of the great earthquake. These are the eight causes, Ananda, for the occurrence of the great earthquake. So these are the additional information given in this sutta. The 8 reasons for earthquakes. So one reason is natural reasons. The other one is those who are spiritually accomplished, or those who have spiritual powers, especially spiritual powers through the absorption from the jhana, they also can make an earthquake. And other reason is related to the Buddha's life story, Buddha's life journey, different stage of the Buddha's life journey. Okay, we go to the next section now. Okay. The next section is 8 assemblies at Parisa, the 8 assemblies. There are another great assemblies, which 8? The assembly of nobles, assembly of Brahmins, assembly of householders, the assembly of ascetics, the assembly of the 4 great kings, the assembly of the Tavatinsa divinities, the assembly of the Mara, assembly of the Brahma divinities. So here there are, they're giving more information about the Buddha's life story, and also certain aspect of Buddha's special powers and Buddha's special abilities, and those those who narrated this suttas they want to explain more about how the Buddha act on that time, or how what was the Buddha's behavior, especially behavior Buddha's life. So here mentioned the assembly of there are 8 assemblies. It says that assembly of nobles, the gathering of the nobles, gathering of Brahmins. In India, there was Brahmin is upper class people. The assembly of householders, assembly of the gathering of the normal people. The assembly of ascetics. The ascetics, those who are practicing spiritual life, intensive spiritual practice. And these are the assemblies in regard to the human world. And the next 4 is regard to the Deva or divinities or heavenly worlds. The gathering in the unseen world, like assembly of 4 great kings. The 4 great kings is there is a heaven called Chatu Maharajika. That heaven, they have a frequent assembly of the 4 great kings. So in that heaven there are 4 kings. So these 4 kings are assembly frequently. So the assembly of the Tavatimsa, another deities, another heaven called Tavatimsa, an assembly of Mara. There's another heaven called Paranimita Vasavati. They are the people in the divinities or the deities called Mara. An assembly of the Brahma divinities, the higher realm, the higher status of deities, or we call Brahma divinities. So in all these gathering, it can be a noble people, it can be Brahmin, it can be householder, it can be ascetics, it can be kings of different heavens, or it can be among the Mara, and it can be among the Brahma world. So Buddha have visited, and Buddha encountered all these kind of assemblies. So this says that Buddha teach to different kind of people, and Buddha teach and associate with different kind of people and deities, men and Deva, the human and the deities. So it's explained some more here. I know, Ananda, after approaching countless hundreds of assemblies of nobles, that they are before settling down, before conversing, and before entering upon discussion, whichever their appearance was, my appearance would become. Whatever their voices was, my voice would become. And I instructed, roused, enthused, and cheered them with a talk about teachings. And while I was speaking, they did not know me and would ask, who is this speaking, divinity or man? Having instructed, roused, enthused, and cheered them with the talk about teaching, I disappeared. When I had disappeared, they did not know me and would ask, who is this who disappeared? Who is this who disappeared? Divinity or man? This ancient narration, the way of putting the verse is a little bit not so easy to understand, but somehow this says when the Buddha encounter, or when the Buddha go to different assemblies, different gathering, when the Buddha approach that place, the people or even deities, let's say it is people, let's say Buddha go to a far away village, and there is an assembly or gathering in that village. When the Buddha approaches there, people do not feel that Buddha is someone very strange person or is not outsider. They feel that they are encountering someone they are, they are belongs, and they see the same features in Buddha as they are. So they feel it is very close to the Buddha. When the Buddha, even the Buddha is going from the outside, they feel the Buddha is somebody belongs to them, and they see them in the Buddha. Another thing is, when the Buddha is speaking, even though Buddha do not speak their native language, even though these people cannot understand Buddha's native language, somehow they can understand what the Buddha is saying. That's why it says, whatever their voices, it become my voice. Whatever their language, become my language. It is like, there is now the NICAM stereo. There are certain equipment, whatever the language the speaker is speaking, we can translate into our own language. So something like that. If the Buddha is speaking in the Pali language, the other people can understand in their own language. So that is the beauty, that is the special miraculous power of the Buddha, which come with the compassion and wisdom of the Buddha. So throughout this chapter explain about how the Buddha go to the different assemblies, different gathering with the men, with the human, and also with the Deva or with the divinities. Great. I know, Ananda, after approaching countless hundreds of assemblies of Brahmin, that they are before settling down, before conversing, and before entering upon discussion, whatever their appearance was, my appearance would become. Whatever their voices was, my voice would become. And I instructed, aroused, enthused, and cheered them with the talk about teachings, talk about Dhamma. And while I was speaking, they did not know me and would ask, who is this speaking, divinity or man? And having instructed, aroused, enthused, and cheered them with the talk about teaching, I disappeared. And when I had disappeared, they did not know me and would ask, who is this who disappeared, divinity or man? So like this, this ongoing, throughout this section is explained the same things happening actually for the different groups. So same text, the repeating text going from the one group to another group. So with the encounter the 100 of householders, and with the encountered the 100 of assemblies of the ascetics, and deities of different heavens, and different deities of the the Mara heavens, Paranim with the Vasavatti, the assembly of Mara. The Mara is kind of deities who want the evil thing side of the world. They want to exist, existence of the samsara. They want the people to be reborn again and again and again with the the continuation of the samsara. And finally, Buddha also talked to, or Buddha teach Dhamma to the higher realm deities, which we call Brahma deities. So this is the this is all about section. this section. So we go to the next section. Okay, the third chapter and section 21, the 8 means of mind mastery. This section also is explained about the stage of samadhi, the stage of mind when when we are meditating from one stage to another stage, our mind become more sharp, more detached, and what kind of mastery level we achieve during the meditation. We can explain this very the short way, but to understand this clearly, I think we need a lot of other exercise of meditations. So somehow I'm going to read this section as well. So those who are meditating, I think would experience this in a certain degree. Okay, there are the 8 means of mind mastery. Which 8? Perceiving forms internally. Someone sees form externally. Limited, beautiful, or ugly. The first stage is perceiving forms. Forms is anything that you can hear, you can see, the physical things, anything. The forms is rupa is anything you see. The perceiving form internally, and he sees form externally. They can understand internal part of seeing forms and external part of the form, but sometimes we, in the normal perception is we cannot differentiate the external part and the internal part. We think that it is one. Our mind, our reaction of the mind, the identification of the mind, and the actual seeing. For example, when we see a flower, the conceptualization of the flower in the mind, one thing is, actual seeing of the flower is one thing. So the very first thing is they differentiate these two in a limited manner. So the first mind mastery of the meditation is we can see these two internally, perceiving forms internally, and sees externally in limited, beautiful or ugly. And having mastered them is one who perceives thus, I know, I see. So he know that and he sees these two sides. And the second one is perceiving form internally. Someone sees form externally, unlimited. So here the difference is unlimited. So it's not a limited capacity. So unlimitedly they see each and everything, the internal and external part of the perceiving or perceptions. It is actual seeing and our part of our own cognitions or our own mind, how our mind reacting and how we perceive from the mind and how we see the things. So that is the second one. The third one is without perceiving form internally, someone sees form externally. So the next level is we do not perceive internally. We do not take it internally. This is especially come with the concept of self. When we see something, actually, we say, oh, I see it, rather than there was a seeing. So the third stage is they able to see the forms externally without perceiving internally. And here mentioned about without perceiving form internally, someone sees form externally and in a limited way. And the fourth one is perceiving without perceiving forms internally. Forms, always remember that there is something sight, or it can be smell, it can be cognition, it can be sound, or anything we call rupa, or anything or external thing. So without perceiving form internally, someone sees forms externally unlimited, without limit, the fourth mastery level. And from fifth onwards, it's about the meditation on kasina, or different colors. There is a meditation of colors with the blue, red, yellow, and white in order to achieve a mind mastery. So the next four is about the kasina bhavana, or kasina meditation. Without perceiving forms internally, someone sees form externally. Blue, blue colored, blue appearance, and shiny blue. Just as the flower called Uma is blue, blue colored, blue appearance, shiny blue, or just as there is a Baranas cloth suits on the both sides that is blue, blue colored, blue appearance, shiny blue, or without perceiving forms internally, someone sees form externally. Blue is blue colored, blue appearance, shiny blue, and having mastered them is one who perceives this. I know, I see. This is the fifth means of mind mastery. So in this way, next three explain about different colors: yellow and red, and as well as finally white. From meditation of these four colors, blue, red, yellow, and white. So they, when we meditating on kasina meditation, we also able to achieve certain kind of higher mind mastery through that colors. So it's explained about that. And so I'm not going to explain much details about this mind mastery. This is a little bit elaborated in the next section as well. Okay, the third chapter for recitation is 8 liberation. So 8 vimokha liberation. There are another 8 liberation. Which 8? One, having forms, see forms. This is the first liberation. So this is the more elaboration of the meditation practice. Or when we are doing a vipassana meditation, or when we are doing an insight meditation, this liberation, this freedom is arising in our mind. One having forms sees forms. Here, rupi rupani passati. When we see the outside world, when we see, when we hear, when we smell, when we taste, when we cognize, we can see what is seen. If we see a flower, we can see in different ways. We can see flowers with attachment to flowers, and we can see flowers without attachment to the flowers. Those who have meditated, those who have this mind mastery, they can see the flowers as flowers, see the body as just a body. Whatever we heard, we can hear as hearing, not through the lens of interpretations or lens of our own defilement. There was another stanza called Ditte Dittamattan Sutte Suttamattan. This means we see what is seen, we heard what is hearing. So what is really hearing, what is really seen, without going through the lens of our defilement. So that is the first liberation. Having form sees form. They see forms as forms it is, as it is. Okay. The second one, not perceiving forms internally. He sees form externally. So once again, this is another liberation. This is already explained in the mind mastery level as well. They, without perceiving internally, they see forms externally. This is second liberation. One is intent on beauty. So those who meditate, they can purposely see the beautiful side of the human being, beautiful side of the world. They see the beautiful side not with attachment, but loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity. When they develop Brahma Vihara, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, they see the beauty of the others with compassion. So that is another liberation. That is another freedoms, the bliss we can enjoy through the meditation. And the fourth one, having completely transcended perception of forms with the disappearance of the perception of sensory impact, not attending to the perception of variety, understanding that this is endless space. So the first three talk about the characteristic of the first four jhanas, and then from here onwards it's explained about the jhanas or absorption about the four jhanas. So this level is very very philosophical, and it's very difficult to explain in a normal terms. So you got to experience this to really understand this one. Having completely transcended perception of forms, they transcended completely the perception of forms with the disappearance of the perceptions of sensory impact, not attending to the perception of variety, understanding this is endless space. He abides in this sphere of endless space. This is fourth liberation. The fifth one, having completely transcended the sphere of the endless space, understanding this is endless consciousness. So they now see the forms, internal and external, and then from there on, they go beyond that, they see the pure consciousness, and they understand this is the endless consciousness arising and passing away. He abides in the sphere of endless consciousness. Having completely transcended the sphere of endless consciousness, understanding this is nothing. He abides in the sphere of nothingness. This is the sixth liberation. And finally, they experience the nothingness. Nothingness is they go beyond the self-identity. They go beyond they see the things, hear the things, and they understand the world beyond a separate entity. So it is the state of when we understand, yeah, yeah, when we understand, yeah, Lydia, yeah. There is a dog here. So when I'm talking to the computer, he confused to whom I'm talking. So let me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry for the disturbance by the dog. Okay, so we talked about the nothingness, the liberation of the nothingness. Okay, having completely transcended the sphere of nothingness, he abides in the sphere of neither perception or non-perception. This is the seventh liberation. Having completely transcended the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, he abides in the cessation of perception and feeling. This is the eight liberations. So this is the liberation of bliss. That's those who are meditative, those who meditate regularly can experience. And this is the way the Buddha, before the Buddha passed away, he entered into this bliss from the start, from the lowest bliss to this the eighth liberation or the bliss. And then the Buddha passed away from with that liberation. So is the complete freedoms, it is complete bliss that human can achieve. So the Buddha explained these eight liberations, explained to the Venerable Ananda how we achieve the bliss or liberations through meditative practice. Okay, so I think it's time now. We don't have much time, so we see what is the next chapter is. Okay, the next I think two chapter is about Venerable the conversation with Venerable Ananda. So this discourse is all about Buddha's life journey of the last 1 year period. So in between, certain Dhamma factors, certain doctrines, certain description of the certain Dhamma factors are included. And other than that, it's more about conversation with Venerable Ananda and his journey through northern India. So again, we back to the journey with Venerable Ananda. At one time, Ananda, I was living at Uruvela on the bank of the river Neranja at the foot of the Gothar's banyan trees in the first period of attaining awakening. And then the wicked Mara approached me, and after approaching, he stood on one side. While standing on one side, Ananda, the wicked Mara, said this to me: may the fortunate one attain final emancipation now. Reverend Sir, may the happy one attain final emancipation. Now is the time, Reverend Sir, for the fortunate one final emancipation. After this was said, Ananda, I said to this wicked Mara, I will not attain final emancipation, wicked Mara, for as long as my monks are not true disciples. Accomplished, disciplined, confident, learned, bearer of the teachings, practicing in conformity with the teaching, correct in their practice, living in conformity with the teaching, and having learned it from their own teachers, will declare, reveal, and make known and set forth, open up, analyze, and make plain, after having a good review with the reason to the doctrines of others that have arisen, and teaching the miraculous teaching. So now this conversation is with Venerable Ananda, the Buddha having conversation with Ananda, and Buddha reveal some memory of just after when the Buddha is enlightened. The wicked Mara, or the evil, the evil deity, they approached Buddha and asked, now you are enlightened. You have been practicing this spiritual journey for a long time, and now you achieved it. Now your goal is complete. You achieved it. So now you pass away. The wicked Mara, the Mara deity, asked Buddha to pass away just after Buddha is enlightened, because the wicked Mara, or the deity Mara, do not want Buddha teach the Dhamma to the other people. When the Buddha teach the Dhamma to the other people stop wandering in the samsara, because they are also going to enlighten. So wicked Mara always want the people to travel from samsara, travel in the samsara, or to go to life, going through this births, aging, disease, and deaths, again and again. So the wicked Mara want the evil side of the world, whereas the Buddha want to stop this evil cycle. Mara invited Buddha to pass away immediately after enlightenment. But then the Buddha says, I will not attain final emancipation or passing away until the monk's disciple attain. Here mentions the beautiful words. My monks are not true disciples until my monks become true disciples, accomplished, disciplined, confident, learned, bearer of the teachings, practicing in conformity with the teaching, correct in their practice, living in conformity with the teaching, and having learned it from their own teachers. Not only their confidence, they are practicing, they are the discipline and learners. After they having learned it from their own teachers, they able to declare it to the others. Declare, reveal, and make known, and set forth. Open up and analyze it, and make plans to the public. After giving a good review with the reason to doctrines the other have arisen. If somebody is teaching something wrong teaching, let's say something misconception about the samsara, misconception about Dhamma, the true disciple able to rebuke it with the good reasons of the doctrines, and teach the miraculous teaching. The miraculous teaching here means especially not the miraculous power, but the miraculous of the teaching is when we teach Buddha's teaching to somebody else, the other person will immediately experience the bliss. When they understand it, they experience the bliss. When they understand it, they end up the sansaric circle by destroying the defilement. So that is the real miracle of the Dhamma. This is the only miracle that Buddha recommends to the Sangha order as well, to do the miracle through the teaching of the Buddha. So the real miracle is that after 2500 years later also, the Buddha's teaching can understand, can bring the happiness and bliss to the people. The more we understand the Buddha's teaching, the more we contented and more happy, more peaceful, more blessed experience inside our own mind. So that is the true miracle. So Buddha said that my venerable monks are able to do this. Until they are able to do this miracle, I won't pass away. So in this way, Buddha mentioned about the monks, and Buddha mentioned about the nun, bhikkhuni. The Buddha mentioned about the layman. Buddha mentioned about laywoman. So Buddha wanted the bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasaka, upasika, these four groups to be learned, accomplished, disciplined, and bear of the teaching, and they want to they will walk the Buddha's path, and not only that, these four groups should be able to practice themselves and to give to the other people and make a real miracle of the teaching. So that is what the Buddha wanted from his disciple. So throughout these sections, Buddha mentioned about that part, and Buddha telling to the Venerable Ananda that how Buddha had the conversation with the Mara, or this evil deity, about the passing away. So I think from here we stop the sutta study, and we will continue from onwards on incoming sessions with this Sunday Puja. Okay, so we conclude the sutta study now. If you have any question regarding the Mahaparinibbana Sutta so far, you may raise your questions.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, BHANTE, for the very detailed and very philosophical talk Sutta study this morning. We shall now proceed with the Q&A session. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, do you have any questions for Venerable Indarathana? This morning Dhamma talk is very philosophical, very deep, BHANTE, especially with regard to 8 stages of mastery of the mind and also the 8 types of liberations. Difficult for us.
Very, very philosophical, and it's not easy to understand just by one talk, actually. So it needs a lot of investigation. So this sutta, certain part of this sutta is very simple about the Buddha's journey to the Kusinara, and certain parts are very, very philosophical, because throughout this sutta, it's mentioned very, very important part of the Buddha's teaching. So certain parts are really deep and philosophical.
Yeah, any question from brothers and sisters in the Dhamma? BHANTE just now mentioned about one of the heaven that Mara is in. Can BHANTE please explain again which heaven Mara is reciting? If Mara is so wicked, why could Mara be reborn again in heaven?
Even though it is heaven, it can be considered heaven. you know, you know, we categorize it as a heaven, but it is a difference. Actually, it's a difference planes, different existence, different. You know, it's just like, you know, we categorize as a, you know, heaven and hell and human worlds. It's not only three, so it is a 31 plane. So 31 places of the different people are born. So even though, I mean, the Mara is wicked in a sense that he won the existence again and again. In that heaven, it says Paranimita Vasavarte. You know, the sixth heaven is, I think, this one is the fifth heaven. Yamya Dusta Nirmanarati Paranimita Vasavati. The sixth heaven, the Paranimita Vasavati is they want the other people to be born again and again, or they enjoying creating same thing again and again. So that is the nature of that heaven, the deity of that heaven. So this sutta and other suttas explain about the Mara, but we cannot really understand why, you know, whether it is really the deity Mara, or it can be Buddha's own mind that's, you know, trying to play. You know, sometimes the evil side of our thoughts come into play. So sometimes this Mara, concept of Mara is our own evil side, or our own negative side of our mind, and sometimes it is a physical person or a deity. So in this sutta also, it says that the Mara, wicked Mara, come and approach the Buddha and begs to, you know, begs to pass away immediately after Buddha's passing away. Yeah, it is for your questions. I think it is a different realm, different kind of beings who born into certain level. That they are experiencing some kind of you know, like a deity, but necessarily they are having some their desires to continue the samsara, continuing or making again and again. That is the nature of that deities. You know that sometimes even in our society also, you can see these are people who are really wicked, but they're experiencing a lot of bliss. Those, you know, at one point they, you know, regret maybe, but those people are doing a lot of bad things. They continue to have a good life. So it can be, you know, their, you know, previous other good karma, but because of the upadana, because of the pattern of karma, they experience bliss, but they may still having a wicked mind. Did you get any idea?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Bhante, for the explanation. Any other question? Bhante, if during the earthquake caused by natural occurrences, normally many people may be injured or may die, but during this earthquake caused by the other 7 occurrences, like for example, the Bodhisattva was born, enlightened, or the Buddha entered Nibbana, or taught the Dhammachakra. Was there any record on anybody injured or died during the earthquakes?
Actually, there is no such records. We heard from the Sutta or any other stories that people are having some difficult time with the earthquake. I also don't think that in that way, if it is very disastrous, it cannot be, because this is something, the auspicious things. When the Buddha come to the human world, it is something auspicious. When the Buddha is delivering first Dhamma talk, it is something auspicious. So I don't think it is something disastrous. It also in one of the commentary it says this earthquake is not the physical earthquake. It is the earth deity are shake, earth deities are shocked, earth deities are trembled. So with their reactions, maybe there is some slight changes in the nature. Of course, it is visible because that is why whenever Ananda feel it, there is something. That's why whenever Ananda come and approach the Buddha by this earthquake, but I don't think it is a very big disastrous earthquake.
Yeah, thank you, Bhante. I think we just take up one more question, last question from Brother YP Lau. Can Bhante elaborate more on the power of a deity on the cause of the earthquake?
Even the we say this is deity that not all deities can do this one. I think in this sutta it's explained the deities, or it can be deities, or it can be even accomplished monk or nun, or anybody who are practicing this special spiritual power. Only those who practicing this spiritual mind mastery, spiritual meditative power, they can make changes to the atmosphere, make changes to the world, because our mind is the more powerful things than any other forces in the nature. So when we master the mind in that way, especially the Patavisanya, the perception of the earth, perception of the water, we can manipulate this kind of, we manipulate the energy system of the world. So those deities also, I think, have this special power, must have this special spiritual power or meditative practice in order to do such earthquake or some changes to the nature.
Okay, thank you, Bhante, so much for the very profound, very philosophical sutta study this morning, and thank you for the very enlightening answers to our questions, leading us to a better understanding of this subject. On behalf of all the devotees, I wish to thank Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu again to Venerable Indaratana. Brothers and sisters, please help me to thank Venerable Indaratana. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, this morning we have participated in the Sunday Buddha Puja service and listening to the Venerable's Suttas study. With the merits gained, let us invite Venerable Indaratana to lead us in the dedications of merits to all sentient beings, families, friends, and relatives, and to the departed ones. May they rejoice in the merits. Over to Bhante.
Deities. Akasattha ca bhummata devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva chiram rakhantu loka sasanam chiram rakhantu desanam chiram rakhantu mam param. Itthavata chamhihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe bhutanumudantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Transferring of means to departed relatives. Idam me ñātinam hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinam hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinam hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Sharing of merits. Imang no punya bhagan mata pitu nance acharya nance sabha satta nance sabha mita nance sabha nyati nance sabha peta nance sabha devata nance bhajema. Imam no punya bhagang sabba sattanam dema sabbe satta sukhita hontu. Aspirations. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Idam me punyang asavakaya vahang hotu. Idam me punyang nibbanassa panchayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Brothers and sisters, please help me to thank Venerable Indarathana to be with us this morning's Sunday Buddha Puja service, streaming from Sri Lanka. Also, please help me to thank the organizing team and the digital team. Thank you to those who have stayed with us till the transference and sharing of merits. Before we end, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi, Sanghang pujemi. Sukhi Hontu. To the devotees, thank you very much for participating. We have come to the end of this 30th online Sunday Buddha Puja service. Next week, please refer to your society's Facebook for our poster for information on the next Sunday Buddha Puja service. Remember to invite your families, relatives, and friends to join us next week. Due to the seriousness of COVID-19 pandemic, stay safe, stay home. May you and family be safe, well, happy, and peaceful always. Sukhi Hontu, Sabbe Sata Sukhita Hontu.
Bahong sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasena marang ධානාදි ධම්ම විදිනා ජිත